So good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm Elaine from Caris, one of the board members. And so this morning's talk is with our friends from Caritas Bangladesh, spreading God's love through service. I'm sure all of us here remember the gospel message from Jesus. Jesus said, whatsoever you did to your brothers and sisters, you did to me. And our friends at Caritas Bangladesh are obviously doing that, spreading this gospel passage and living it out. So very pleased today to introduce you all to James Gomes, who is the program director of Caritas Bangladesh. And he is joined today with 3 of his team members who are doing a lot of work on the ground with the Rohingya refugees. So we are joined by Mr. Muzarraf Hussain, who oversees emergency response and also protection, right, of the Rohingya refugees. Also joined by Mr. Piyush Nair, who takes charge of WASH, which is really water, sanitation, and hygiene for all the refugee camps. And also we're joined by Ms. Zanzida Akhtar, but I can't see her picture here. She covers really the shelter, making sure that there's proper shelter for the refugees. So thank you, James, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today to really tell us more about your work and also the challenges that you're facing. And James, I know that Caritas Bangladesh is actually marking its 50 years of service in Bangladesh and celebrating your Golden Jubilee. So I was wondering whether you can tell us a bit more about the founding and the social mission of Caritas Bangladesh.
Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity for Caritas Bangladesh to be connected with Caris. Caris is also celebrating the anniversary. So we're as a part of that, Bangladesh, we are joining with you all. So I convey our gratitude to you for this invitation or for giving opportunity. As you say about Caritas Bangladesh, as the eastern part or branch of Caritas, that time we established in 1967. After the Second Vatican, it was the instruction for all dioceses to establish Caritas. Basically, in 1970, a super cyclone took place and more than 500,000 people they died, especially in the coastal areas. And that time, the diocese of Chittagong, as most of the affected areas were under Chittagong, so they responded very promptly. And initially, that time, the name was CORD, Chittagong Organization for Relief and Development. And after a few days, especially it took place in November 12th cyclone, and on November 19th, 6th, he came to Bangladesh, especially a stopover for an hour, and he handed over a check for $100,000 US for the government of Pakistan, EIR, and one check for the Catholic Church to respond. At that time, all the bishops, 4 bishops, they were in Philippines because to meet with Pope, Asian Bishops Conference. And after returning back, Caritas initially renamed as COR, Christian Organization for Relief and Rehabilitation, which supervised the board and started to work all over Bangladesh, especially in the affected areas. And we got independence in 1971, and the whole country, it was, you can imagine that after the war, no communication was there, so Caritas Bangladesh. That time it was not also Caritas, but CORE, in the name of CORE, started to work all over Bangladesh, and especially for the refugees who have returned back from India. They had no houses, no shelter, no food. no wash facilities. So in that way, Caritas Bangladesh started. So we are celebrating our 50 years, and we have started from Chittagong on 25th November. All the regional offices, our 8 regional offices, they will be or we will be celebrating a year-long program, and as a part of this will not be only a festival, but we will reflect our work as well as commitment for the next 50 years. So this is in a nutshell regarding the celebration or anniversary 50 years golden anniversary of Caritas Bangladesh, and that will be ended in October 2022.
So it's wonderful that you've done 50 years on the ground, but I know that Bangladesh is also experiencing many different crises, and I think the big one or the key one that you're having to deal with is really the Rohingya refugee crisis and really helping these displaced Myanmar refugees. So will you tell us a bit more about what work is involved in helping these refugees and give us an overview of the situation there?
Thank you. Especially all of us know that in 2017, the greatest influx of the world that took place, and the government of Bangladesh, they have kind enough to open the border, and the displaced people forcefully who have to leave their country, and they entered in Bangladesh. And initially, what we can say, the host community, they were the first who stood beside them, and Caritas Bangladesh was, we were observing the situation, and our first response was to come up with the food, then the non-food items, and gradually we were thinking about the shelter and other facilities. What we have, all the intervention we have started, that we want to hear from our colleagues, as three of my colleagues are here. So Mr. Mosharef, as he is taking care of the protection, he will share. Afterwards, gradually we will hear from two of our colleagues, and at the later part, I will again join with you.
Thank you. It is our great opportunity to share the protection interventions to our development partners and our beloved friends of Caritas. So basically, the director programs are already mentioned. We have started our activities in 2017, immediate after the influx. But we have started our protection activities for the children, vulnerable children, women, adolescents, and elderly people from early 2018. As the world observed that the Rohingya people population are mostly vulnerable since they are at Myanmar, and also while they are crossing the border and also crossing the Nam River. Many of them were subjected to rape and other unbearable forms of gender-based violence and other means of violence while they are crossing the border here. As you know, many separated children and many children have been separated from their families and caregivers, and they were alone and unaccompanied. The Caritas Bangladesh started their journey to protect the children who are in such a vulnerable situation. We started safe spaces for children, and basically while they are coming to Bangladesh and make shelter in refugee camp. There are lack of space for children, adolescents, and adults also for their recreation, for their healing opportunity. In that case, if increase the abuse, neglect, and violence, exploitation, trafficking, etc. For protect the children, Caritas Bangladesh started their safe space called family space, and gradually we expand our protection activities for adolescents, making adolescent clubs in the child friendly space, and also we have started a safe space for women and adolescent girls. Is for women friendly space. And then gradually we expand our activities, community-based protection programming. As you all may aware that the protection actors and also other actors not present after 4 p.m. and at night and even at weekend. So in that case, for the protection of during absence of actors, the community people may take their responsibility to protect their community and themselves. We are now working with them to develop their capacity. So this is a synopsis of our protection program. Particularly if we think about our protection programming to share with you, that this is a safe space for their gathering to interact with others in early childhood development and engage recreational activities to the children and also adolescents. Other than we are doing their portable skill development training for livelihood for adolescent girls and also for adult male and female, as they can earn money in camp, and also they can bring their skills and capacity while they are voluntarily repatriated to their country in Myanmar. Repatriated to Myanmar. Another one great work we are doing to unify the children to their families who are separated from their families, who are still we found many lost children in the camp. In that case, they are very vulnerable situation, and our intervention here to reunify the reunification of these children to their families and caregivers. Another protection, there are around 10% persons with disability, including children and others. So we are providing devices and care to the children with disability. For protecting the people from many other hazards, we are distributing non-food items like mosquito net, like solar light or home lighting, etc. And the one thing we mentioned here that we are doing especially for the vulnerable population, vulnerable children, adolescents, and adult women in case of psychosocial support. Many children, adolescents, and girls are in traumatized situation where when they are crossing the border. Still now there are several types of violence in camp, like domestic violence, like intimate partner violence, harassment, trafficking, early marriage. So we are working different and types of to protect people. from Thailand. All these are activities by the great Almighty God, love Caritas and love our partners. So this is from my side this time. Hand over to use the wash. Thank you.
Thanks, Musharraf.
Thank you very much. So I am very happy to share wash intervention as we are working in the Rohingya refugee camp. And at the same time, I congratulate my Catholic brothers and sisters of Singapore as we are celebrating two big events in Singapore and in Bangladesh too. So at present, in camp level, we are serving around 11,000 Rohingya refugees with our wash service. So it's very basic and essential service as well. So water sanitation and hygiene is an important sector that plays a great role to improve better public health condition and minimizing the spread of several diseases. So we are working in this sector from the very beginning of the class, as we told that it started in 17. So I will share a short video that what we are addressing at the camp level with the four components: water, sanitation, hygiene promotion, and solid waste management. So I am trying to share the short video. Here we see that a few days ago, Caritas Bangladesh President, Bishop James visited the camp, and he visited a person with disabilities who have been served, and he was crying and saying that Caritas is doing very decent work with us, and they are providing every essential services. So he was crying and telling to Bishop that Caritas should work with us for a long time, and it shows that God's love. So we here share a video of activities. Screen is shared. Hello.
The video needs to be started. It's kind of like lagging. Give me a minute.
So let me stop share and tell. Since 17, Caritas started constructing the facilities. First of all, we installed many deep tube wells and tube wells for safe water option, constructed some water network, and for sanitation we constructed latrines, bathrooms, and some wash facilities, drainage system. Then we have started installing hand washing devices in the camp level to ensure the water sanitation and solid waste management system functioning in the camp level. So Caritas is responsible for operational and maintenance work too, so that all the wash facilities function well to ensure their essential services. In the face of adverse natural disaster, a few months ago, there have been a flash flood. So there is a scarcity of water, latrine damages, so landslide. So we work for emergency response to respond the situation. So latrine and bathing space are more improved now, and we are aligned with the sectoral standard. And in the pandemic, we want to share that in the pandemic, this aspect of WASH program gained tremendous importance. The WASH sector coordinates all the activities here, and in the pandemic situation, we shared, we worked a lot with our volunteers, and every activity with our, we engage the community volunteers of refugees, so that they are they are the main actor in the camp level, and we are providing them support. So for them hygiene promotion activities, we arranged distributed hygiene kit. We installed several hand washing station for hand washing practice. We distributed masks. We encourage them to take vaccine. So it's all. And now our activities are more protection and gender mainstreamed to fulfill the dignity of human person, to witness the gospel and spread social justice and charity. So our focus are now to ensure quality service and partnership building for sustainable program implementation in the camp level. So this is all from my side, and thank you. And next, requesting Sanjita for sharing her side.
Okay, greetings everyone, and thank you for giving us the opportunity for sharing our activities with this platform. We are really grateful. So, as we all know that God actually loves us without any condition, but as a human being, we cannot do that in the same way, but through our services, we can definitely express our minimum love towards God. And in the Caritas Bangladesh shelter team, we are actually fortunate enough that we get the opportunity to serve the rural community through our shelter services when they are displaced from their own land for 5 years now. And from 2017 to till then, actually, we are providing them shelter support through our CI partners, and because we knew that after food, actually people need a roof over the head, and this rural community is extremely vulnerable. They are dealing with their trauma, their distress, and now they are experiencing the uncertainty in their life. And when they are arrived here, they were actually depleted from their financial condition, physically, emotionally, mentally. And from that time, we need to provide them in emergency shelter support to protect them from the elements, because that was a forestry land, and we need to ensure that our each of shelter intervention actually helpful for them from their protection crisis and considering their living standard, and we try to do so. And initially, we provided them emergency shelter kit, and gradually we developed so many shelter designs year after year, which is based on situation. And not only the shelter service, apart from that, actually we did support them for developing the settlement as well, because this response itself was like a plan with a 3-step follow for the support. First will be emergency support, and a transition period will be there, and then last of all there will be a development phase. But when we started working, it's like the emergency period is much more longer because of the geographical area of this shelter support. And then we decided, okay, apart from shelter, we will do settlement together to support this community, because there was strict training for the peoples. they were not able to go to toilets, market, hospitals because the area was dangerous itself. So we have to give support, we have to give them support quickly through our site improvement interventions also, and also at one point we found that there is issues at night, so we provided them street light support. And then we found that there is deforestation because they are collecting firewood for cooking. We Caritas first introduced the LPG, the LPG can, and also when it was related to deforestation, we provided them like plantation support, and we started initially that through our services. And when shelter support we were providing in 2017, we realized that Caritas has decades of experience for community-based approach, and for this nearly 1 million Rohingya refugees in a year. And through our services, how we can feel them that they do have that expertise, they are part of the community. We are here to support them. So from day one of this response in our shelter program, we followed community-based shelter approach, and we did piloting in 2017, and then after that, all the organizations here who were working in shelter sector, including UN, they all followed our good results for all those interventions, shelter interventions. And from that time to now, we did support them for developing their own capacity and through our support. Because when we feel that they should need to, and we have to ensure their ownership, we have to ensure their dignity, we have to give them a safe shelter, and then we provided them the training of safe shelter construction practices, and we also provided them cash for work support, which is also linked to their livelihood support as well, because fully work and livelihood activities restricted in camps, but through our shelter programming we try to do so. From 2017 till date, Caritas Bangladesh had a great contribution on the technical working group in shelter and FI sector for developing all the shelter design models, and midterm shelter. After 1 year of that response, 2018, Caritas Bangladesh developed midterm shelter design, and that was approved from the ministry. And after that, there were so many changes of that design, but we take that initiative and transitional shelter assistance, which was also developed by Caritas through our other shelter partners support. And the last 4 years, continuously, Caritas acted as a strategic advisory group member for the shelter and FI sector for this Rohingya response. Because of our great support for this response, and currently we are directly involved as a shelter focal point for 6 camps, and where we are serving 30,000 households, and for any kind of emergencies we are responsible for supporting them. And our team is continuously working for supporting this Rohingya community, even though during COVID, fire, flood, and any sort of emergencies, our team is 24/7 there to support this vulnerable community. And we just want to share that when in last month that fire incident happened, Caritas Bangladesh was the first responder to IOM that we are ready to support you in any cases, and just next day we sent one of our team there because that camp was not ours, but it was our co-responsibility, and we really wanted to be with the community, and we just try to make sure that they are not alone and they will get the minimum living standard, and that is our duty through our support. And we are lucky enough that through our CI partners, God gives us that opportunity to support them, and we do have that dedicated team on ground that they equally feel that this is not only our job, and we are here for supporting the need. And definitely we are following here all sorts of coordination strategies here, and we are working together with government, we are working together with UN and other partners as well for with the hope that they will get a bit better service through our shelter programming for a dignified life. So thank you everybody.
Thanks, Anzida. I mean, thanks to the Caritas Bangladesh team for helping us to better understand, right, the extent of the work involved in providing shelter, protection, clean water, some of the things we take for granted in Singapore. And I'm also heartened to hear that it's not just about providing these things, it's also about teaching the refugees how to help themselves, how to protect themselves, how to put up proper shelter, and that's also very important, right? Providing the rod so that they also know how to fish. I know that the work is deep and broad, so I also wanted to hear a bit more about the challenges that you're facing in doing the good work that you're doing. And I know and understand that there have been challenges in the past, as well as current challenges that you're facing. So maybe, James, you can just give us an overview of what some of these challenges are, and I suppose how you're getting across them.
Yeah, as we have had the intervention, obviously the challenges also never leave us, so it stays with us. So, well, coordination, it is still a great challenge. In some cases, the fighting among themselves, and Mohibullah issue, just he was killed, and that means tension is still going on while our staff members are also working. And another challenge, you can say, the host community, day by day, they are not very well behaved. If we consider in 2017, that time the host community were the first responder who had given their then the shelter shared food, but gradually after 2 years or now it is increasing, which is really a great challenge for Caritas colleagues, not only Caritas colleagues, but who are also working there. And among protection issue already shared, that means all my colleagues also try to share, and the fire incident, this type of that is beyond our control. That is happening. If I miss any major challenges, any one of you can very shortly you can add over to my colleagues.
Thank you, Dr. First, I just mentioned some challenges from protection part. Basically, hello?
Yep, we can hear you. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Basically, from protection part, already mentioned, it is 4 years past. In fact, Rohingya are here in Bangladesh 4 years. In the meantime, many hostel groups created here, and many Christians created in the camp. And they are basically, they are, in some camps, they are not allowed able to go outside to work as volunteers and asking money from female for volunteering services. So this is one major challenges now. Day by day increase. It is basically for the low security level and absence of actors in afternoon, evening, and night. Another challenge is that for protection issues, many violence incidents not reported. It is only for happening for traditional culture practices and low level of respect to the women and girls community. So it's basically for gender-based violence prevention and response. It is a great challenge to not notice the incident timely. Another challenge is livelihood challenge. Basically, the work food program and other actors provided many food items, but still gap for them to many food items and also other essential items. That is livelihood opportunity for Rohingya population is now a crucial issue, and which also create tense in the camp and in the family. For that case, the family, the domestic violence basically increases day by day, and also the trafficking, child labor, abuse, etc. also are major concern. Another major challenges from protection side, not only from protection side, many other side also. In COVID situation, many actors withdraw their activities and their stuff from the Rohingya camp, and also the government restriction are there. So we, but Caritas Bangladesh, a team of Caritas Bangladesh always has been working in COVID situation, but we are thinking and worried about if next wave of COVID will come, then the issue will also arise in the next slide. Another, just one, I just mentioned last one. Community mechanism, basically community mechanism for protect themselves is still minimum in the camp. So this is our challenge. So these are from my side. Thank you. Over to my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just want to share one challenge from WASH component. Here we say that we have provided many WASH facilities, hand washing device, latrine, and bathing cubicle, etc. But those are not functioning all the time well because those are not managed properly. So ownership building is a lack there. So we think it's a big challenge to ensure ownership among the refugees in camp. Thank you. If there is any from Sanjita.
Thank you, Piyusha. So, for shelter dresses, challenge is a bit different because still we are using non-durable shelter materials, which is bamboo and tarpaulin after 5 years. And we know that considering the lifetime of tarpaulin and bamboo, so frequent and after 6 months or in best cases after 1 year the replacement is required. But same way the fund is declining here, but still we need to give them that replacement support for shelter cases. And also here the government and ICC understanding is a bit different in shelter cases. So and as it is different, so shelter is always related to land issues. And they are living in a congested area, so big macro level planning is difficult, and it is a real challenge to follow the SPR standard properly for the Rohingya camps. And now it is supposed to be a development phase for shelter cases, but it is quite different for shelter interventions. First initial 2 years, it was emergency phase, and then we got into in transition period, but still emergency because 2 years was COVID, and we are using continuously all these years the non-durable material. So this is still under emergency. This was supposed not to be, and the area is hilly. So when the area is hilly, that was a forest land. So there the full infrastructure related development is still required, and for the settlement purpose, now we are doing with durable material using. We are replacing the bamboo for the site equipment works. Is allowing, but not full swing. And also when we are allowing for the site improvement only, not for shelter, still the fund is less here considering the accurate need. And the area is disaster prone. So every single time there is a threat of cyclone, there is a threat of flash flood, there is a threat of weather-related incident, and emergency arrives so frequently. And sometimes we had to use our regular intervention dementia-related materials for all those emergency support. Because if we don't give that support, there will be a protection crisis at risk. So, following all sort of things and different understanding on different levels for shelter programming, for using non-durable materials, so for making it a integrated approach as something bit better is really a challenge issue for now.
Thanks, Anzida. I think we're running a bit short of time, so I'll just pose one last question, which is hearing about all these challenges that you all have on the ground. I'm sure that there's sometimes you feel discouraged. So just wanted to understand, how do you keep your faith alive and remain centered on your primary mission to spread God's love through service?
We are so much grateful to Jerry's volunteers and the supporters from the very beginning. That was the first partnership with Jerry's after this influx, if we consider 2017, and twice the team from Jerry's also visited the camp, and Catholic Church or the Catholic people in Bangladesh is only 400,000 people, and the Catholic Bishops Conference, CBCB, they are very much concerned for these displaced people. From the very beginning, they were worried, and they advised, they visited that place, and they talked with them, they tried to learn from them and how to address the issue of their suffering. And though there are so many challenges, in spite of that, the support Cherish is providing, as well as other CI member organizations, CI CMOs, we are very much hopeful as well as grateful to all of you, because we, in race of religion, race, or color, we never considered, and considering a human being, as you see from the Bible, that's a summary of. So that maybe we are trying our level best to stand beside them in front of, in spite of all the challenges, and that we will continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Do we have some time for any questions? Okay, we don't have time for questions. Really want to thank you for joining us today, and have a blessed day today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Sorry.
Thanks very much, James. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Talk to you all again.